How was I able to afford a $62,000 Tesla Model 3? I'll show you coming up. Hey there, my fellow Tesla Joy drivers. This is Joy. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. I share videos about my Tesla Model 3 owner experience to help current and new owners learning more about this amazing car, as well as helping future owners making an informed decision on their purchases. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. Today, I am not sitting in my Model 3 doing a video. Instead, I'm doing a video on how I'm able to afford my Tesla Model 3. This has been requested by many of you from my previous video when I shared how I decided to get my Tesla Model 3, how I decided to join the EV movement. I mentioned in that video that I am by no means a rich woman. I do sales for a living, and all my previous cars I've owned, nothing was ever over really $28,600. So this Tesla Model 3 is $62,000 with taxes and fees included. It's a really big stretch for me, and many of you are curious about how I was able to pull the trigger and get this car. So I will do some modeling on a spreadsheet. I will share the exact purchase price, including all the fees and taxes I paid. And this is directly from my purchase agreement with Tesla. And I will also share with you the financing terms I was able to find. And based on the current financing rate and the monthly payment that I'm making, how this will apply on the mid-range Model 3 and the base model. So you can see what numbers you potentially could be playing with and get an idea for how much you may need to come up with, what type of monthly payments you can expect. Now, before I jump in and share the numbers, I want to point out a very basic fundamental thing. You will have to start saving for a big purchase like this if you're just like an ordinary person like myself. I've also had quite a few of young people, maybe in their 20s or even still in college, dreaming about this car, and it's a great goal to have. But first of all, you need to be asking yourself, is this car feasible for me given my current economic situation? Before Tesla came out, my dream car was a Ferrari. But was it sensible for me to get a Ferrari? Absolutely not. So I had to settle for cheaper cars within my budget. So same thing with the Tesla. Tesla is wonderful. It is great price-wise. It is still very high, and I wouldn't call this an affordable car right now. This is the first assessment that you need to be making for yourself. If this is something that you absolutely want, and you cannot wait for Tesla to produce cheaper version down the road, or for other car manufacturers to catch up and start being competitive and making similar type of cars so that you have more choices and the market will drive the price down a little bit and make it a lot more affordable, then the very first thing is start saving. I shared again in my previous video how when Tesla first announced the Model 3 in 2016, I put on the $1,000 reservation. Even though I canceled that reservation and then reserved it again a year later, from that point on in 2016, I have decided that I was going to start saving for this car. Anyway, I went on this saving binge. Pretty much all of my commissions, sales commissions that I made from my regular job, I saved it up. At the end of the day, I was able to altogether pay about half of my Tesla Model 3 in cash and then do the other half through financing. My goal was to keep my monthly payment, the financing portion, at around $500 per month. I went out and did comparison shop on all the financing rates. So tip number 2, comparison shop like crazy. Tesla has its own partnership. I believe it's with Chase Bank when it comes to financing, because Tesla doesn't have its own financing arm right now like all the other traditional car companies do. So they partner with third-party banks to offer these financing rates. And these traditional banks, the financing rates are much higher than credit unions. So this is something that I learned through this searching process. I went out and searched around on forum. You can Google this, get into the Tesla owners forum, start asking around, Google financing terms for Tesla's credit unions, what kind of rates people are finding out there. I had a list, unfortunately I didn't save that list, but I had a list of several credit unions in California and even outside of California. But if you're able to make a donation to like a zoo over there, then you qualify for membership, that type of thing. So I actually had, I would say probably about 5 or 6 of these credit unions around that I was comparison shopping. You have to continue to watch for these interest rates because they do change, I would say month by month, if not week by week. So you have to keep monitoring. Keep that list with you, and as you draw near to your purchasing date, comparison shop so that you can lock in the best rate for you. And then you can take that to Tesla with the check, and then you have the best rate locked in. The rate that I'm going to share, it is through a credit union I found called USE Credit Union based in San Diego. I went to UC San Diego, so this credit union is associated by UCSD alumni. So I was able to get membership there. But I also looked at another one called Logix Financial, another one called Exceed Financial, California Credit Union, and some other ones. But these are all credit unions. None of it was regular banks because, again, the bank rates are just way too high. So I was able to actually get a 2.29% interest rate for 60 months term. None of my previous cars, I financed all of them. None of them was ever over 48 months of financing term. So with this Tesla purchase, not only did I have to save up a whole lot more, but also stretching my monthly term or financing term for another year out versus the 4 years versus the 5 year. This is something to keep in mind. Some financial institutions, some credit unions, they will offer 72 months, 84 months of financing just so that you can get your monthly payments down. I personally don't recommend it because I want to pay off my car as quickly as possible. I guess I'm kind of old-fashioned in that way. I have never leased a car and I'm not interested in leasing a car. The Tesla Model 3 right now does not offer leasing terms anyway. After 6 or 7 years, you're still paying your car. Yeah, that's gonna be quite a big of a burden, frankly, because, you know, the job market may change, something may happen to me, I may lose my job, then what am I gonna do making this car payment, right? So I would personally keep it anywhere between 48 to 60 months. That's my preference and my suggestions, but you do whatever you feel comfortable. All right, enough talking. Let's see the numbers. Here I have the actual purchase of my Model 3 long range rear wheel drive with premium interior included, with enhanced autopilot, with the now discontinued silver metallic paint. So here you will see that the subtotal of this car with all the options included is $55,000. And then you have to pay another $1,000 for documentations and fees charged by Tesla, $925 for destination fee, $75 for documentation fee. I think the fee went up to like $1,200 now, the last time I checked. I could be wrong, but expect to have that additional fees coming from Tesla. And then you tag on the sales tax. So California sales tax is like 10% is so expensive. So this part may vary depending on where you live, but you know, I guess it's good that I'm living in California with this high tax rate so that you can see the highest, most possible price, right? So here's the 10% of the California tax, and that brings the car price up to $61,600. And then there, on top of that, you got your vehicle license fees and registration fees and title fees, and that's another $617 in addition. So your total, this total number that you need to pay Tesla altogether out of the door price is $62,217. So yeah, really expensive. Now, I put on the reservation in April of 2017, so they already took $1,000 from me. And then when they opened up for deposit for the actual order and start designing my car in June, they required another $2,500. So now you don't need to pay that $1,000. You can just go ahead and order with that $2,500. And then I also traded in my old car. Now, Teslas, they're not like all other traditional car companies. And again, they're disrupting not just the car companies in technology and EV wise, but also their business model, because there's no negotiation on their car purchases. Like, you walk into the dealership and then you say, they say it's $30,000. I'm like, no, I'm only going to offer $22,000, and you start haggling that way, right? Not with Tesla. Everything is set. So this is actually another disruption in the marketplace, in the way that they're selling these vehicles. And there's another disruption also that's on their whole supply chain. So they control everything, right? That's a whole other topic. But the trading part, that one is actually flexible. So I mentioned that I had a 2008 model BMW 328i. And this is where comparison shop will also come into play. And I highly recommend it. And I told my coworker to do the same as well. So take your car to CarMax and get a free appraisal. You're there for like half an hour, 45 minutes. That's what I did. So I took my car to CarMax and they looked at it and they said, we're going to offer you $3,000 for your car. And they gave me 7 days to agree to that, to take my car in or not. So I did this right before my Tesla delivery date. So I recommend that you do this. And then, but at the same time, I also told Tesla that I would like to trade in my car, and they have you take pictures and you upload them with the titles and registration histories and whatnot. So actually Tesla came back with $3,700. So obviously I'm going to go with a higher one, right? It's a little bit of haggling, I guess, happening right here. Now, what my coworker did was neither Tesla nor CarMax offered the price that she really liked. So she listed privately on a website, and she was actually able to get probably like $500 to $1,000 more than what the trading value would have been. So you have all these different options. So, but the point is comparison shop, even on the trade-in. So now with all of these credits, right, that I have for Tesla, that comes out to be $7,200. And that brings my total due at delivery down to $55,017. And I went ahead and financed $30,000 through the credit union. So the total cash that I had to pay, I did a ACH transfer, bank transfer, was $25,017. This is the largest cash transfer I have ever made in my life so far. So yeah, with the financing, with the cash and the trade-in, here you'll see this is how everything adds up to that $62,217 total price. So I had to save up in total $28,517. But I guess it was kind of okay that they took chunks of it little by little. So with the $1,000 and then the $2,500, and then the big chunk, it didn't feel like I actually paid $28,000. But now I'm looking at it. Yeah, I did pay out of pocket $27,517 in cash. Now, let's talk about the rebates and the incentives. I was able to get in on it. I believe the Tesla EV incentives, the federal credit, will start to phase out January 1st of 2019, where it'll start to cut in half for a quarter and then another half, and then it's going to be gone. So I feel bad for a lot of the people holding out for the base model because you guys were kind of counting on this, but it did not happen. Yes, I feel bad for you, and I'm really sorry that Tesla played us like that, because I was hoping for the $35,000 base model as well. Again, another conversation, but looking at the rebates that I'm able to get. So in California, every other state, you guys probably have some other programs that you can look into. But in California, they offer this clean vehicle rebate of $2,500. I just got approved like 2 days ago, and my check should be here in another 90 days. So it's a long wait, but I will get $2,500 back on that. And then come 2019, when I file for taxes for 2018, I do get that full federal $7,500 credit. And then I also found out that my utilities company, Southern California Edison, they actually give you $450 incentive just for owning an EV. So also look around, ask your utilities company if they offer any type of incentive just for owning an EV. So I was able to get another $450 back. That one I already got, actually. So my total cost reduction is $10,450. And that brings the actual cost of my Model 3 down to $51,767. So it's a little bit better than the $62,000, but still, this is still twice as much as any of the cars I've purchased before. So now looking at the financing terms, I mentioned earlier, 60 months, interest rate at 229%. And my monthly payment right now is at $530, which is not too bad. All right, next, let's look at the mid-range. So let's say that I want to keep my financing term the same, right? Because, I have this rate locked in and I'm comfortable with this $530 monthly payment. What if I were to get the mid-range model? So here I'm just, again, making assumptions. Right now the Model 3 mid-range starts at $46,000. Let's say that I keep everything the base, no autopilot, no, white seats, no fancy paint. I don't understand why they're charging for paint, truthfully. No wheel upgrade. So you're looking at $46,000. Now, even if you don't get all those options, this is still an amazing car to have just to drive around. You do still have the safety features. You do get that fun instant torque. So don't think that you have to have all the options in order to enjoy a Tesla, because you will. Now, assuming that the destination, documentation, tax, and license fees are all the same, and if you add it all up, for the mid-range, you're looking at $52,317. And now, if you do a $2,500 order deposit, and then let's say I still kept my my BMW 328i trade-in at $3,700, then the total credit will come out to $6,200. And that means when I go pick up my mid-range, I will have to give them $46,117. Now, let's say that I keep the financing at $30,000 with the same rate, same monthly payment, then the cash due at delivery is $16,117. Now, if you're looking at the big picture, $30,000 financing, total cash you'll have to come up with is $18,617. And then you have your car trade-in. That is still quite a bit for most people to save up, that $18,000. But maybe you can ask around, maybe for younger people, for your parents, maybe they can help you. I know my coworker did that, and now she's paying back her mom. There are other ways to get money that way, or just simply start saving, really just start saving. And I tell people that I am now on a Tesla diet. So now I just go to Trader Joe's once a week or twice a week and get their $3.99, $4.99 salads for lunch. It's good because I'm losing weight and I am saving money and I'm able to afford this car. So go on a Tesla diet. All right, now let's look at the reduction, the incentives and rebates. So assuming we're still getting that California $2,500, and then your federal tax credit is starting to phase out, right? In January, you get half of the $7,500, and I still get my Southern California Edison Utilities EV incentive credit. Then the total reduction is $6,700, and that means the actual cost of the Model 3 is $45,617. That's actually not too bad, I would say. If you're looking at a luxury brand like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, that's comparable, really. So I think this is starting to make a little bit more sense and a little bit more affordable for people out there. So something to consider. And finally, let's take a look at the base model. So let's say that a base model is $35,000 with no other options. Again, you don't need all the other fancy smancy stuff to enjoy Tesla. It is an amazing car. Just get the base model and enjoy all other benefits. And with the destination fees, documentation fees, taxes, license and registration, you're looking at the base model to be $40,217 altogether. Again, the price, the fees may fluctuate, but this is based off of what I paid. So just to give you an idea. Now, let's say that you put on a deposit of $2,500 to order that car and configure that car, and then you do another trading again based on my BMW 328i trading at $3,700. The total credit is still at $6,200, just like the mid-range. So now it means when I go pick up my car at Tesla, I would need to come up with $34,017 to pick up my car. And again, assuming that I'm okay keeping my 60 months financing term at $530 monthly payment at the current rate. Again, that rate may fluctuate depending on when you lock in that rate. But let's say that I'm keeping this the same, then cash due at delivery is $4,000. Now that is more of a reachable goal, I would say, even for younger people. So if you really tough it out, save, maybe, take on second jobs on weekends and whatnot, go on a Tesla diet, that $4,000 is doable. But, if you look at the big picture, with financing, trade-in, the cash that you have to come up with is $6,500 altogether. So it might be reachable. Now, looking at the rebates, assuming the California rebate $2,500 is still in effect, and then the federal tax credit has phased out, so you get none of it, right? And then you still get some of the incentives from utilities companies. Your total cost reduction is around $3,000. And that brings the actual cost of your Model 3 to $37,267. Again, that is actually not too bad. And again, it's comparable to like a fully loaded maybe Nissan Maxima, I would say, or a low-end BMW entry level. So this is starting to come down, and it's looking like it could reach more people. So there you have it, the comparison between the standard rear wheel drive Model 3 that I have with mid-range and also with the base model, the type of cash that you will need to come up with and the monthly payments that you can expect to have. Now, there are a couple of ideas, I suppose, to continue to afford this car if you truly, really want it. I have seen people posting on YouTube, sharing that they're actually Uber drivers in their Model 3 to supplement that income. You can do that. There are people listing their Teslas on Turo, T-U-R-O, so that people can rent them out by day. You can do that. There are other ways to help you to supplement the purchase and to reduce the cost and to help you make that monthly payment. So these are some of the ideas that perhaps you can consider. One last thing I want to mention is that you won't have to worry about maintenance. I did not put out any potential oil change, timing belt change, brake pads change, or any of the potential breakdowns in my calculation because you don't have to worry about any of that. You can also put that into consideration and put it on the scale and weigh them and see if it would be sensible for you to jump in right now and bite the bullet and get the Model 3. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by my channel and watching this video. If you like this video and what I had to share, please go ahead and subscribe now and ring that bell so you'll get notified when I share new videos. Make a comment, like this video, share it with your friends. I love to interact with all of you and get new ideas for upcoming videos. Until next time, have a blessed week, everyone.